we jogged today, and it was difficult to keep him on the ground. He was wanting to buck and jump, but feeling very good, and we'll proceed with training tomorrow.
All the signs you want to see so far, running back.
Yeah, and I pretty much kind of, it looked that way after the race that he was came out in good shape, very happy. All systems are good right now.
Bob's famous for saying, I don't know if I'll breeze him between the races or not, and then he usually does, and it's not going to be much, and then it's
something.
Not much for a Baffert horses.
Well, those are one of the things you just got to sit and wait and watch. So be out here Sunday, Monday, and see what he does.
How do you evaluate his race in the Derby?
I would have liked to have been closer. I really didn't want to be back behind horses. Evaluate that, he got beat 3.5 lengths. So on a roughly run race, on a terrible muddy racetrack. Other than the fact I would have liked to have been a little closer in the clear instead of trapped in behind horses. But that's the Derby. That's what it is. It's a large field, and you don't always get the trip you want. So we'll move on to Baltimore.
First time I've seen him after the Derby, and thought he looked great. And just kind of with the Derby, you want to see how their weight is, how they come out of it, energy-wise, and he looks great.
Bob has this amazing record in the Preakness. Could you just sort of speak to that? And I'm guessing that gives you, just in of itself, confidence if he's wanting to come to the Preakness.
Yeah, it gives you confidence. And obviously he had 3 horses running the Derby, so he's not choosing to run all 3 back. He's choosing Improbable because he thinks he's the one that came out of the race the best. And so that does give you confidence. Preakness is a standalone Grade 1 classic race, so it is very important in regards to the 3-year-old picture. And quite honestly, the one way I looked at it was that if he could win the Preakness and do it well, I think that puts him in a position to see how the rest of the year goes for a 3-year-old champion, because the Derby was just kind of a muddled race. I mean, it just. Not even going to get into that, but it's Maximum Security is obviously a very, very talented horse, and Country House is coming well, but I think the 3-year-old picture is wide open. Obviously this year's not the same as last year when we were going in with Justify, and you had a Triple Crown possibility, and that's always exciting for the industry to have a Triple Crown on the line, but it doesn't happen every year, and there's a reason it doesn't happen every year, because it's darn hard to do. And so, I'm excited to go up there with Improbable and see if he can redeem himself. He ran well in the Derby. It looked like he got bogged down a little bit the last quarter of a mile when Irad tipped him out. I'm not sure that was the best part of the racetrack. It seemed like horses down inside were running very well, and it just looked like he bogged down a little bit when he got out and got clear. And I thought he was going to win at the quarter pole because he was traveling well, and then he tipped out, and he just looked like he didn't have the same stride that he's had in the past. That's one of his weapons, is stride, and he just looked like he bogged down a little bit and got on his front end a little bit. So hopefully we'll catch a good racetrack and see. He ran well in the mud in Arkansas, so wouldn't be afraid of that either. But the other day, he just didn't seem to quite have that same stride that he's had in his other races.
He went 3 for 3 as a 2-year-old, obviously. How do you evaluate his 3-year-old season, where he's got 2 seconds and a close 5th placed 4th?
Well, it's not the same as his 2-year-old season. We'd rather be winning, but he's close enough in all these races, and he's run against Omaha Beach, who would be the Pro 10 leader right now, I think, one of them. So he's run very well. Excuse me.
It is as much fun this year in some regards that, this is a stupid question, it'll probably be edited out, but like last year, you had a horse that you knew maybe had a chance at the Triple Crown. Well, you had a chance, but you felt you had a horse. Does that make it fun, or does that make it more nerve-wracking?
It's a little looser this year. Not as much pressure on the line. Obviously, when you win the Derby, and with all that happened the day after the Derby with Justified bruising his heel and all that kind of looked into that, and I remember Probably this day last year, we had the state vets over here looking at him, wondering if he's okay and all that. So there was a lot of pressure last year, but I'd rather have that pressure and win the Derby than not.